I'm going to take you step by step for hooping your fabric, getting ready to embroider on the Bernina 880. So we have videos on great tips for stabilizer, needles, threads, so I hope you'll check out all the videos that we've put in this playlist. This is something that the more you do and the more you use it, the easier it gets. This is not something that just kind of comes overnight. Okay, now you know how to embroider. So I do kind of encourage you that the more you do it, the easier it gets. And hooping is one of those things that people do struggle with at the beginning just because it feels awkward. But when you've done it enough times, it will get easier. Trust me. Now, if you really want to have a reason to hoop lots of times, that is why we talk about our Embroidery Essentials online course. So not only are you learning techniques and you're learning your machine, but guess what? This part right here requires 16 hoopings. Not all at once, but all individual. And tell you the truth, it does get easier as you go because you do it over and over. And that's what people don't realize about this course. It's not really about the course. It's about doing the activity over and over again. All right, so I've got a couple things out for you first. If you notice in that little bag, there was these little clips. Those actually can connect to the template. Now, I know you can barely see through that template, but what you have is they can just slide onto their edges. So if you want to make sure that things are lined up correctly, you're going to slide this here and this here. If you've drawn a vertical and a horizontal line on your fabric and you lay this right inside the hoop, see how it will assist in making sure that everything is straight so you can know if you're going to be a little sideways or not. Now, one thing this machine does have is the ability to hoop a little crooked. So even if you are a little crooked, being able to reset it and kind of line it up, it works great on this machine. So, but it's nice to have things in there straight the first time out. Next, when the hoop comes to you, it's probably really tight. And the key is to take this screw right here and loosen it quite a bit. Now, we are going to put a link to a very helpful item. It's just called a hoop spring. This little hoop spring that you can get, it will help you. See how that kind of opens up and then pops back in? There's hoop springs that will keep that extended and also make your hooping a lot easier. So just know that that's the case. But you kind of open this up. Without it open, it makes it really hard to get your fabric and stabilizer in your hoop. You're pushing down and it shouldn't be actually that hard. Next, as you look at your hoop, you're going to notice that there are two arrows. They are to be aligned and pointing together. So if this inner hoop has been twisted, then you don't have two arrows and things aren't where they're supposed to be, especially if you're using that template. So make sure you always look for the two little arrows here. And then the bracket that we'll be using to attach this to the embroidery unit here needs to always be on your left side. So that's what I will be setting down on the table first. When we talk about fabrics and stabilizers, just a quick little rundown. So number one, this is just a piece of cotton fabric, and I've got 2 layers of tearaway stabilizer. I'll be hooping all together. When possible, always hoop your fabric and stabilizer together. Putting stabilizer underneath your hoop is not really the best choice. And also, if you only use 1 layer, you will probably find that your designs will kind of pull in and give you little wrinkles around the edges. And that's no fun either after all that work and thread that you did, and now you don't have the result that you're looking for. So 2 layers of stabilizer minimum. What happens is you get strength with those layers, kind of like plywood. As plywood is made, it gets stronger and stronger with all those individual layers. Next, you're going to be introduced to my new best friend, 505 spray. I've actually always used it. It's not a new best friend. It's just my best friend. So spray adhesive can help you also with hooping so things don't slide around so much, but also so you don't accidentally kind of stretch the fabric out. I mean, every fabric has some type of bias or very, very stretchy side. And if you are working with knit fabric or something like a sweatshirt fabric, that's stretchy in like all directions. So this is my way of having a secure layering, so it makes going into the hoop a lot easier. So it is a temporary spray. You're going to spray only on the stabilizer, never on the fabric. That way, it only has a one-sided stick. So if it's on stabilizer, it won't transfer to the fabric. It's not going to come up your needle, and you know what? It does not stink. So if you have any issues with some of the spray adhesives that are out there, you've got to get this one because it is wonderful. Now, normally I don't spray this close to the machine, and neither should you, but what I'm going to do is just kind of do it fairly lightly. So I mentioned I had 2 layers, so why not give that can a good shake and then spray the layers and stick the layers together. So I'm going to spray one and kind of stick it down. I kind of like it. It's sometimes I call it a Post-it note in a can, because if it's not perfect, you can just lift it up and reposition it, and it's perfect. So I'm going to give it its next little spray. Usually I'll have some type of designated area somewhere away from my machine where I would spray, and then any overspray would be maybe caught by something like a towel or another piece. So as I lay this down, if I don't get it just perfect, see how that just kind of has wrinkles in it? No problem, just lift it up and then it will set back down without the wrinkles. Here's what I want to show you. Remember how I pulled on the fabric earlier to show you it had a stretch? Now when I pull on this fabric, you can tell it's actually connected to the stabilizer. And stabilizer shouldn't stretch. So when I pull here, see how I'm pulling? I really am. You don't see any movement in that fabric. So as I go to hoop, everything's really going to stay together. So it makes it, like I said, it makes it so much easier. So traditionally what I'll do is take my hoops apart. The little inner hoop, the smaller one, will go on top of my fabric, and the outer hoop will go on my table. So here is where, oh, here, let me show you the template. So as the template is set inside this area, I can kind of get it so it's even with any marked lines that I'm trying to follow. And then I'm going to pick it all up at once. See how I can like transport it? And then I'm going to just bring this hoop kind of towards me. And then I'm going to push the inner hoop into the outer hoop, starting at the top. So as I kind of start at the top, kind of push that in, then I'm going to work my way down to this corner. This corner is where that screw is. So what I want to show you is that as I get it kind of close to where I need it to be, I'm going to pull it off the table, and then with my fingers, I'm going to kind of pull open, so I'm kind of pulling towards me that screw so it can kind of help open it up and accept that inner hoop. And I can feel I'm pretty open, yes. I'm just borderline that I opened that screw far enough. But remember that hoop spring? It would have helped hold that open and made it a lot easier. So just kind of keep that in mind. Definitely something to get. So next I'm going to just take that screw right here. While I'm all in place, I'm tightening this screw. You're also noticing I'm standing up, which I actually usually do when I film. But standing up while hooping gives you that downward pressure that will also make it a lot easier. So if you're trying to do this sitting, that could be half the problem. It's not easy to do it that way. So what you're going to do is tighten this screw as much as you can. And it's going to feel, well, it's going to get easier. The more you do it, you might even get a little callus here. Just keep doing it until you really can't go any further. So if you then take out the little insert here, and you'll see that everything is nice and flat, but the hoop, it's tight around the hoops. I mentioned I wanted to tell you why I love the oval hoops. So I'm not an engineer, but I can see that an engineer developed this because the tighter I tighten this in a circular area or shape, that everything tightens on this side, here, here, here. Everything's nice and tight. So that means my fabric's not going to move about when I'm embroidering or pull out. Sometimes when I have a really big hoop and it has the corners, when I tighten that screw, only the corners are tight. And it's sometimes loose in those long legs of the hoop. Last thing I like to do is actually take my fingers right here, where I'm going to push with my thumbs just a little past flush. I'm pushing the inner hoop past the outer hoop, just a hair, not much. And what I'm actually going to do before I do that on all of it, hear it? It's a little loud. Scratching the table, not scratching, but you can hear it rubbing on the table. Here we go. Here's this little kind of corner area. Push that down a little further. It's like it's almost getting just a little tighter as I do that all the way around. But now listen to it. It's quiet. So when you put this onto the embroidery module and the table, it's nice and secure. So that is the hooping process. That takes practice, but I think if you just take some time, give yourself a project like our Embroidery Essentials online course. Again, links are below the YouTube video here where you can check that out. So if there's any tips that have been helpful that you didn't know about, make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel.